Wow. Email some female.
Huh? My book? What book?
My Yahoo and my Gmail.
I can't have that up here.
Wholesale and retail.
Bring it here.
Huh?
I stick it in here.
No, I'm ready. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Matt. Welcome back to another episode of the Matter of Fact podcast. Today is a really very special episode. It's our Mother's Day edition episode, and I feel like y'all really gonna like it. I'm excited to introduce the person that I have on today. As y'all know, I do all my introductions the same, but this one, she deserves the best introduction that we have. So if you could please give me my intro music, brother. So, this woman, she's the strongest person I know. She's the most special person in my life. She's a warrior. She's my best friend. She's a mom. She's a friend. She's a sister. She's a daughter. And she's a staple in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my mother, Carla Newsom. How you doing, Ma?
Hi, Matthew. How are you? Thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm so honored.
Of course.
So proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on here.
Of course. I would not. I would be here.
Yeah.
I'm your biggest fan.
No, of course.
Always been your biggest fan.
And you look good too.
Thank you.
I wore my red for you also.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Red is my favorite color.
Right.
So yes. So I'm representing myself today in my red.
So this episode is all about you. We literally just made it completely about you. It's a Mother's Day episode. So I just want to say, knowing you, you're obviously, I knew you my whole life, but you're a person who I really look up to, who I consider my hero, one of my heroes. And just seeing you and knowing all the things you've done for us and for our family and how you've really held us all down and been the rock of our family has been very inspiring to me. And I just wanted you to come up here and share your story with all of us, because I know it hasn't been that easy being that person in our lives. And I know you carry a lot with that. But before we get into all of that and how you became to be this mom and this special person who's touched so many people before, I wanted to know your childhood. What was it like growing up and stuff? What was in your household, and the dynamics in there, and maybe the obstacles that you may have faced growing up and how it shaped you today?
Well, I would say I am blessed to have a very happy household. I had a mom and a dad that is no longer with me now. They got their wings, and now they're in heaven with our Father God.
Yeah. But
I would say I was raised in a 2-parent household with my older brother, and just like siblings, my brother and I, we beefed. We are 6 years apart, but I always call myself the baby older sister, because I've always felt like I had to be the one to set the bar right. My brother would clown around. I had to keep him in order. My parents, I would say my mother, Faith, she's a very faithful woman. My father, strict, by the book. But I would say I am honored to have had parents like that, because coming up in the time that I did, I came up in the 70s, so my birthday's coming up in May, so you could do the arithmetic. Yes, so.
He behind the camera counting the judge.
So, in the 70s, a Snickers bar was 25 cents.
Oh, dang.
A slice of pizza we could get for 25 cents.
Yeah,
a can of soda. So, yeah. Right, a can of soda for 25 cents. So, we got a lot back in the day. But, yes, my parents were, we were raised in the church. We had to go to church on Sundays. My father was very strict on having family dinners, on Sundays. Matter of fact, not even Sundays, Monday through Friday. We always had dinner at a certain time. We would sit at the table, and my father would talk to us about whatever we wanted to talk about. It was an open table of discussion, which I like, and which is not really put in an example in today's world. You know, everybody's on their phones, everybody's text messaging via social media, you know, but we shine away from really sitting down and talking to people one-on-one. But that is how my household was. We had chores, we had rules and regulations that we had to follow. And, you know, the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. They never spared the rod on us. You know, if you did something wrong, you got your behind beat. In my household, you know, we don't play that.
It wasn't no CPS back then, like
no, it wasn't
called DIFUS.
No DIFUS, no, none of that.
Yeah, we pulled that on you a couple times though, and you still ain't care about that junk neither though.
Yeah, so right. You know what I told y'all about DIFUS, right? If DIFUS can take care of you, then go ahead. Then go ahead, go on with DIFUS.
Kicking us out.
That's right. If DIFUS gonna take better care of you, then I can't go on with DIFUS. Call them. Matter of fact, I'll dial a number for you. You remember I told y'all that. I'll dial a number for you and call them. Yeah. Have your 52 pieces sitting with you.
Yeah. Yes. It was like don't remind me of the childhood.
Right. But anyway, yes. Fun childhood. We went outside and played. Unlike what these kids do today, everybody's on some type of game.
Yeah.
You know. No, our game was outside. Go outside, get some fresh air, play, ride bikes, kickball. We played stick ball. We would get a rock. We didn't even have a ball sometimes. We would get a rock and a stick. That was our game, stick ball.
Real innovative.
Yeah, we was very innovative.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be out in the backyard making mud pies and all this other stuff.
Oh, what the heck? Like,
eating them mud pies. So a mud pie was... We would take my mother's tin. I got beat for this. We would take. I would go in the house and sneak out the kitchen little tin pies, like pie pans, right? And then we would go and get water, dig up dirt, mix it up, and put it in the pie pan. And then take a stick, you know, like if we make pies, happy birthday pie. You know, congratulations pie, whatever. We were so creative.
So that was like if it was somebody's birthday.
Yeah, well, they get a mud pie.
They get a mud pie.
They get a mud pie. Because we ain't had no money to buy that, so we
nobody got birthday cakes. I just got mud pies.
No, well, from us.
Our
parents would give us, you know, birthday cakes and all
friends.
that. I'm talking about outside with our friends. These are the creative things we used to do.
Yeah, that's nice.
We used to do hopscotch, drawing numbers on the ground. 1, 2, 3, red light, all that stuff.
Yeah, see, now that sounds like a healthy childhood. Like.
Yeah, we had fun. And then we used to be outside from sun up till sundown. When the street lights come on, you better be on the porch or in the house, because if not, you got called out. You know, your mother be on the porch, get in the house, it's time to come in the house. Because, you know, like I said, dinner was at a certain time. Yeah. And at my house, dinner was between 5 and 6 o'clock. So we had to be in the house. Yeah. Sit down and have family dinners and family conversations and all that stuff. So I would say I was one of the fortunate ones that have a very good, well-balanced childhood. Yeah. Communication, open line of communication with my parents. Anything I wanted to talk about. Even when they talk about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. Oh, dang. All of that stuff. But you know. No, because kids have to learn these things.
Yeah, true. I think that's also another thing, like, because most kids these days don't really talk to their parents. Right. And they just, like, go to the internet, find something, figure out something, or, like, the world is telling them how to go about these things instead of the people in their household. So they probably get steered in the wrong direction. Unlike how it was with you, y'all actually talk about these topics in the house. And get well informed, other than by some kid who's my age trying to tell me how to like do something, and we both just trying to figure it out, like blind leading the blind. Yes. So I would say beneficial with that. What I was going to ask is, how involved was community back then? Like, because I know they're saying, you know, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
So how much was that like enforced on you? Well, not enforced, but like played a part in like your childhood growing up?
Very much. That we did follow that model. It takes a village. Everybody knew everybody in the neighborhood. We respect elders. It didn't matter if they were our auntie or our uncle.
Yeah.
Miss so-and-so or Mr. so-and-so. That's how we address them. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And if you did something and Miss so-and-so or Mr. so-and-so saw you and they told mama or daddy, you got in trouble.
Yeah,
they believe Mr. So-and-so and Miss so-and-so. So they didn't play that. So we had to be mindful of how we act outside, who's watching, you know. Even back then, as a community, everybody was involved. I stayed across the street from a fire department, and I noticed the firemen would come out and watch us play, make sure that we good. Back in the day, we had what is called PAL, where the Police Athletic Association, it was headed by the police department. Yeah, they would have open up. So what they would do would provide security and open up gyms in different locations in the neighborhood, in different neighborhoods, for us to just go and play after school. So we weren't outside in the streets.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, crime was always still crime, but it wasn't as crazy and as bad as it is now because we had things to do. Yeah. You know, we had, and they were watching. Eyes was always watching. And, you know, and I think it was a level of respect, too. We respected authority back then. Not everybody, you know, you're going to have some hard heads. Yeah. But for the most part, we were scared of the police.
Yeah.
You know, we were scared. We respected them. And back in the day, police, they had a certain standard and statue. They were tall, they, you know, and they were like really almost like, I wouldn't say your friend, but they would talk to you and say, listen, I saw you do so-and-so or whatever. Don't let me see you do that again. I'm going to tell your mama or your daddy.
Yeah.
Because I think the cops was afraid of the mama and daddies too, because they knew if you tell mama or daddy, that's it, who need the cops? And I used to say back in the day, Lord forgive me, I was like, yo, our parents need to get locked up. They talk about the way we get in trouble. They would beat you whatever they could get their hands on.
Yeah, fact.
A shoe, a stick, it didn't matter. Yeah. And there wasn't no such thing as no child abuse back then.
Yeah, that's why we got a little bit of that too, like with your parents, like, cause Nana and Junk, she used to just throw whatever was in like the reach. If that was in reach and we did something, she gonna launch that junk out of her head. And what's crazy, I don't know if it was all just like parents back then, they all had great accuracy. And it's like, how the heck, like you could be all the way down the block and like she could hit you with the shoe and it hit exactly where she wanted you to hit you at. Like,
oh yeah,
that happening to you? Like,
Nana had good aim and precision.
That's what I'm saying.
I asked, I was like, was you a runner? Did you throw
quarterback or something?
Yeah, like, quarterback. What was you? You was a pitcher in the baseball team or what? She would pick up, and she had good ears too.
Word.
Because I used to always I had a bad habit of talking back. So I would go, like she would tell me to do something, and I whisper it, and she would be like, I heard what you said. Say it again.
Yeah.
Oops upside your head or whatever. But I was like, oh, okay. And then, you know, sometimes if she couldn't get to me, she'd pick up whatever was in her hand, a shoe, whatever, throw it, and I'd be ducking because she would take my head off.
Word.
So, yeah. Parents didn't play. Respect was a motto with them. It was something that they took very seriously. And they wanted us to take serious, you know, to be respectful. Also, God-fearing in my household. A lot of my friends too. We went to church. We said prayer every night. You know, prayer. We graced our food. So you know, it was a standard, a tradition that we were raised under, and we understood the narrative in that respect. And it was across the board respect. And then we feared our parents because we believed they was going to do what they say they was doing. I know y'all all heard I brought you in this world. I'm going to take you out of it. They meant that, for real.
Yeah, y'all believe that junk.
Yeah, we believed it. Yeah. And we had parents that would come to your school. You act up. You know, nowadays, the teacher would write a note. Oh, you want detention and everything. No, ain't no detention. Detention? What? They would come to school, talking about embarrassing, snatch you out of class, call you out by your whole name. Now, you know you're in trouble when they call you by your whole name.
Yeah.
Call you out and then beat your butt right there in front of everybody. And then dare the other kids, don't laugh, because you will get it too.
Yeah, I would have been just writing my notes.
That's it. Don't laugh. Because what y'all laughing at? You know how kids laugh Snickers. Ain't nobody laughed. Everybody like, ooh, ooh. I'm going to be quiet because, so we feared. We really did fear our parents. We respected. And it was not fear as far as like scared of them, but fear as in the matter of respected them, you know. And I think that's what's missing in this world today. It's a lack of respect.
Yeah.
You know, we respected one another. We worked together as a community. We watched out for each other in the community. If somebody saw somebody do something that they shouldn't have did, yeah, we were snitches. They say now they snitches get stitches. Well, I'm going to tell you, if we didn't snitch, we was going to get a stitch.
Yeah.
Because if we lied, yeah, if they asked us a question, we were supposed to answer it truthfully. Because if not, we going to get it.
Yeah.
So, you know, well, look, I'd rather snitch than to get a beating.
No, I agree.
So that's it. Because you can't do no worse to be with them what my mom or daddy can. So
like, I might as well just get myself
I might as well
now,
just turn myself in.
Either way, I'm going to get hit with the, what you said, she was throwing frying pans and junk? Like,
whatever.
You was going to get hit with something when you walk in the door and junk.
Yeah, they was creative back then. Whatever they could get their hands on.
Yeah. I'll see where you got it from then.
Right, yeah. But I mean, look at you guys. Y'all don't have any records. Y'all not in jail. Y'all all graduated out of college. So I must have did something right.
Yeah, not true.
And the same thing with me. I graduated out of college. I finished school. I went through all my grades. So I would say my parents, you know, they did something right. So the discipline and all that, it made a difference in my life, and I appreciate them. And I told them once I got older, of course I didn't tell them growing up, ain't nobody appreciate getting beat and punished. No, we ain't appreciate that then.
Yeah.
But once I understood and I became, because my father used to say to me when I was younger and I would get in trouble and he would beat me, I thought my father was crazy. I thought all parents was crazy back then anyway. So, but they were very knowledgeable and wise. I come to learn that as I got older. But my father used to say to me, Carla, this is going to hurt me as much as it hurt you. And I'm looking at him like,
yeah, all right.
You're not getting the beating, sir. I am.
Word.
So how you figure it's going to hurt you? I don't get that. And when he said that to me, I'm looking at him like, what? This man got to be crazy. And I didn't understand what he meant about it's going to hurt me, to chastise me, to beat me, to punish me, until I got older and I had you guys. And I realized you don't want to do any type of hurt. You don't want to hurt. When you are a parent, you don't want any type of hurt or harm come to your kids. So it hurts you to have to punish them, to take something away from them. But then you understand that it's necessary, because if you don't teach them now, then the world is going to teach them something, a more detrimental lesson.
Yeah.
So you're preparing them for the world. And it's a mean world out there. And you have to be equipped with the right tools in order to succeed in this world.
Yeah.
And it starts at home. So when my parents did that, I didn't understand it then, but I called them back once I got older, graduated out of high school and everything, and I thought about it, and I said, thank you. I told them thank you. Thank you for all the punishments. Thank you for the talks. Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to express myself and not judge me, call me crazy. You know, you really explained to me things to make me understand. So I had a full understanding. And I felt as a kid back then, I was a well-rounded, very mature kid because I had the views of two parents, my father and my mother. Now, they didn't always share the same views, but they were very positive, and they helped shape my life in such a different way because I can look at it through two different perspectives, and I can understand from a man's perspective and a woman's perspective, which is very important.
Yeah.
You know, growing up in the world,
Right.
you need to have a perspective, something to model yourselves to, you know, out here. Because out here in this world right now, ain't nothing out here to model yourself to, really.
Yeah, to look up
You
to.
know, to look up to, you know, and that's sad for these kids that are coming up. But that's what I try to do for you and your sisters, is to be a good role model. Not just do as I say, but do as I do, more so. So if I'm going to have you do something, I need to start with it as being the example for you so that you can physically see that this is the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
So that's why I tried to be a good example before you. And how I learned that is through my parents and my grandparents. I had wonderful grandparents as well, too. I'm originally from Florida, so I grew up in Florida up until the age of 5, and then I left Florida and came to New Jersey at the age of 5, but I still went back every year to Florida, so my grandparents were still there, and I'm living in their house. And my grandmother, she beat you with a switch. She pulled a switch off the tree.
Now that junk is wild. Like,
Yeah, a switch. And the switch talked, too.
now
Yeah, the switch talked. I'm going to tell y'all how the switch talked.
yeah, what the switch?
The switch said, the switch, yo, I'm telling you, my grandmother, God rest her soul. I love my grandmother. I miss her. My grandmother, see, I was the baby grandkid out of 26 grandkids.
Damn.
And we all had numbers, and I was number 26. And I used to always tell her I was the best thing that ever happened to this family because I am the baby. Yes, I had a big head as a kid.
26.
And I figured I could get away with anything. But my grandmother was like, just because you the baby and you might be cute, still, I'm going to get you.
26.
26, yes, 26 grandkids. So,
Okay.
So one day I did something. Let me tell you how the switch talked. I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I thought I was going to get away with it, right? So my grandmother, and then back in the day, they would make you go get your switch. Talk about corporal punishment if that ain't corporal punishment.
Now what the switch, like what it
so
look like?
So a switch is like a long.
'Cause I know what it look like.
It's almost like it's a bendable branch. It's like, comes off almost like a bamboo tree.
Yeah.
Right? So in Florida, they had palm trees, and then they had like a tree almost like a bamboo tree. So when you pull the branch off, when you hit it, it bounced back like this.
It's on ricochet.
Right, ricochet. So when she would swing it, it'd make this song, whoop, 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 right?
And that's how she knows she got it.
Yeah, that's how she knows she getting it. She getting you.
Like how they had the whips back and be like, whoop.
That's
like,
right.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, see, now that junk is, that's
what
not okay.
I did was, I figured I was smart. So she said, Carl, you go get your switch, because I'm going to get you. I said, no, not today, Grandma. I went and got the switch, and I took the time to break it in certain spots so that when she go to swing it, it would break on her. So I said, here, Grandma, here the switch. She said, Carla, why that switch look like you did something to it? I don't know, Grandma. Lying, see, about to get in trouble. I don't know, Grandma, what you talking about? So she said, oh, you think you smarter than me, huh? No, ma'am, I don't. No, I don't. So I figure I'm going to get away with this. Surely when she pulled the switch out and swing it on me, it's going to break. Mm-hmm. So my grandmother had this chair that she would sit in, her favorite chair, right? I didn't know Grandma had a backup switch up underneath that chair. So she reached down. I saw her reach down on the side of the chair. Next thing you know, I seen this, I called it the super switch, come out of nowhere. And I was like, ah!
Yeah, I
She
would've got
beat
him
my
out of it.
butt. She said, you thought you was smart. You thought you got away from me, didn't you?
I was like, what you made me go get my own one for then? Like, waste all that time. Like,
See,
if
they
you
were
was gonna hit me with this
smart.
one anyway.
They were smart. No, she figured I was going to be obedient, but when she saw I tried to play her, she said, okay, I'm gonna teach her who's the smart one here.
Yeah, but that just speaks to, like you said, the discipline at home instead of getting it out in the world. I think it is better to have that foundation of like parents who actually discipline you and like teach you respect.
Yes.
Instead of you get out there and then your first experience of discipline is the outside world. And now you don't know how to handle it. Then it could go left and then end up in a situation you don't want to. So I think that just speaks to your parents and how they, raise y'all in a good way.
Yes.
And then in turn, you doing the same thing with us. So we could know discipline and know respect of like, the proper authorities or like elders and stuff like that. So you don't gotta get no calls. I mean, you used to pull up to the schools too. And actually, you used to, and I know my sister remember this, Jack. You would be friends with everybody in the entire school district, like all the way down to the janitor. And it's like, we would go to school, and it's pretty much like you going to school too, though, because it's like you would be there the whole day, and they like, oh, you want me to call your mother? And it's like, I'll be like, no, because like I know y'all know her, and it's like, but they'll be like, hey, let me call your mother. Actually, she's downstairs. I just saw her in the hallway, and I'm like, what? Is she supposed to be at work? Like, what you mean she downstairs in the hallway? Like, I'd see you at lunch. I'd see you like in one of my other classes, and I'm like, yo, could you leave, lady? Like, why you here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I can act up or something. Like, you over here, like, I don't want to do nothing because my mother here, and they just gonna go snitch on me and junk. So, yeah, you would always be at the school to even like, have us there so we wouldn't even want to act up. So it was wild. Like, well, why was you spending so much time at the school? Like,
because I was fortunate enough. Shout out to your father for this one. He did his due diligence, being a provider, a good provider. So he worked and he allowed me to stay home to be able to raise you guys. So I had time to be at the school to make sure. So there was a reason why I made friends with everybody, because I wanted people to know who I was at that school and who my kids were. So that if there was ever a problem, no hesitation, right, about calling me, because you know who I am, right? And you know that, and also to show them how important it was to me as a mom that my kids model themselves in the right way. So I feel like at home is the place where you lay your hair down, you act crazy and all that. You have fun. But out in public, in school, you better conduct yourself in the proper manner, the way you were taught.
yeah,
So I wanted to make sure behind the scenes to ensure that you guys were doing what I taught y'all to do. And that if I needed to make some attitude adjustments or whatever, that they didn't have to go too far. I was there.
yeah,
And I just stayed around just a little while, to make sure that you guys were doing what you're supposed to do. And also just to help out, because I still was under that mentality that it still does take a village. Some of those kids that you went to school with, they were in single parent homes. Some of them was just with their fathers, or some of them was just with their mothers. So if I could be a mother to somebody there, so it wasn't only just for you guys, it was for the whole school, really. Because if you remember, all the kids knew me.
No,
I knew pretty much all the kids, as well as the parents. It's almost like I was the co-principal at the school. And that wasn't, and that was with all y'all schools, all the way through high school. I said, okay, once y'all got to college, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop, because I know they like, yo, Mom, please.
yeah. Like,
But that was to show you guys that, which I think is not really shown and demonstrated a lot in today's world, that we care. As parents, we care. We are concerned about your life. We are concerned that you are getting the best education, that you are doing your best, that you are exposed to the necessary tools or instruction that you need, you know, and not just send you to school and not even have an idea of what type of textbooks you're reading or what are they teaching or even the attitudes of the teachers, you know. And I felt like when they know eyes are watching, when you know when you know somebody's watching you, they will handle you in a different manner. So nobody's going to handle Carla Newsom kids any kind of way. They're going to handle them right. So there was a lot of reasons why I was there, you know, just to oversee, make sure everything's good, to ensure to people to let them know, hey, I'm watching, I'm here. Don't handle that one wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you're going to catch some smoke.
Yeah, no, you ain't played it. You ain't played.
No, I didn't play. I didn't play. And then it not even with you guys, any kids. You know how I was with you guys, friends. You know, I taught them respect. Call your mother, speak to your mother in the right way, and don't disrespect. You bet not disrespect in front of me. Because you will catch one. You're going to catch some smoke.
Nah, true.
Yeah, so. But that's the train, because the Bible says, train up a child in the way it shall go, and when it grows old, it shall not depart. It's the way we train our kids determines how they grow up, the type of adult they're going to be. So you have to start when they're small and all the way up. So, you know, I took, that was very important to me, because I knew the type of household I grew in. I want you guys to have that and better. So that's why I fought very hard to make sure that I was a good example as best as I could be before you guys, so you understood what being a person, an individual is. Nobody's perfect. You know, everybody has their flaws, their inconsistencies, but you still can be a good person if you work at it. You know? If you work at it. And I would say, I think I did a good job. I think I give my own self a pat on the back with you guys. Looking at you, Mr. Matthew Newsom, got your own podcast. You know, the one that didn't talk much. Matthew didn't talk much as a little kid, but he's talking now. So, you know, I'm impressed. I knew you always had it in you, but, you know.
Do you think I'll be saying them SAT words, like, or would you, like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think I could expand my vocabulary a little bit more? You think it's expanded? Like, all them years of paying that tuition and paid off? Or, like, what you mean?
Oh, it better have. Because what did I tell you when you went to college? What was the statement I said?
That I'm not going to move in right next door or something?
Not only that. I did tell him. I did tell you that. Because I was going to oversee you all the way to college, but then I said, I'm not going to do that. No, that's not cool.
Go home.
Yes,
like,
go home.
Trying to go to Ohio. And
yes, I was going to relocate. Matthew went to Ohio State. I was going to relocate to Ohio State. And then I realized that I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, it's time to let him go. Okay. But I did tell him that I was not selling my shoes because I love shoes. And I told him, you better do what you need to do, you know, get those scholarships and everything, go to college, because I'm not selling my shoes to put you through school. And I didn't have to sell my shoes.
Word, thank God.
And I didn't even have to take extra trips to Ohio to come see about you. See,
I ain't need you coming out there.
Right. So it worked.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, part of that, I really wasn't gonna move there, but you know, I just did that to kind of like.
I hope he wasn't, because
I kind of got that. That was like one of my mother plants in your head to kind of like have you thinking about, like, she moved down here. I better do my best, just so she don't, because I know my mother. Yeah. She would do something like that.
I'll be looking over my shoulder and you in the bushes and John.
Right, because like, I'm that type of mother, right?
Like, I see you in that bush.
Right. I'm that type of mother. That they be like, Matthew, who that woman standing out there behind the bushes?
Sure.
And you be like, oh my gosh, that's my mother, man. Yeah, so I didn't have to do that.
Yeah. So what I want to know is, before you, like, the crossover into motherhood, like, as you were growing up and stuff like that, did you have like any like what was your dreams like, and like what was your goals in that point, like before, like, let's say, like, you know, or I'll just say growing up, like high school, middle school, going into college, like what was your dreams, like what was your focus then before, you know, motherhood and like all that other stuff came into play?
Oh, you mean like that statement, what I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah, like
what I want to be when I grow up. Well, I wanted to be, I actually like computers. So I wanted to be like IT, computer analyst, something like that. And I wanted to be a freelance with the computer. So I wanted to be the one that they call to come to whatever corporations and fix, their mainframes back in the day. That's what it was. They called them the computers and all that. So it was a cross between that and then and management. I wanted to do like business management, things like that. I wanted to train managers because I learned that as I was growing up, and we got jobs, y'all. We got jobs at a young age. 15 years old, we was working. Okay, yes, 15 years old, we was working. Yeah. Camp counselors, whatever. Mm-hmm. In high school, I went to East Orange High School. Shout out to East Orange High School. Now the name has changed.
You talking about campus, right?
Yeah, now it's campus.
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
No. It wasn't Jaguars. We was the Panthers. Panther power. Yeah. Shout out to all the Panthers. Yeah. Classic. Wait, I ain't gonna tell you the class.
Yeah, he about to start adding them again. Yo, you back there like
class of 1987. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, 1987. I graduated high school, but we were going to school. We were going to school, and we would get a job. So we would go to school, and we would get on the bus and go up to the mall. Livingston Mall, which is no longer in existence now. Livingston, it's because they shut it down.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah, it's done. So we used to go get jobs at Livingston Mall.
Wow.
If it's at the food court, somebody's JCPenney, Macy's, Sears, whatever store was in there, you seen all of us. We up in there getting jobs.
What was minimum wage back then?
Dang, now you really taking me back. I think it was like $4 and some cent, something like that. $4.45, something.
What?
Yeah. Minimum wage was low.
Well, you did say a pizza was 25 cents.
Yeah, pizza was 25 cents. Yeah, but we had $1. We made $1 go a long way.
Nah, that's true. Because even I remember that though. Like, because like y'all would give us like lunch money, whatever, and we go to the corner store. You get like 4 bags of chips for $1.
Yeah.
So how many bags of chips y'all used to get for $1?
We could still get the 4 bags. No, we could get. Let me see. The bag of chips, 25 cents. So we could get 4 bags of chips. But let me tell y'all about the bag of chips y'all get, but opposed to ours. Y'all get airbags. There was no such thing as airbags back in our day. When you got a bag of chips, it was filled to the rim. When you pop that bad boy open, the first chip was sitting there staring at you saying, hello, how are you?
Word.
Yes. So, everything. We got our money's worth back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No airbags. We had everything really nice size. Yeah. So, and we had a lot of nice entrepreneurs in our neighborhood. It was this lady named Miss Effie. She had her own little candy store. So she would go to the store, buy candy, and sell it to us. We go to Miss Effie's house before we go to school. Everybody get their little money. We used to be breaking the piggy banks because our parents wasn't giving us money to go get candy and all that stuff, especially my father. He was stickler on having good teeth. So, you're not going to be eating a whole lot of candy and stuff like that. Sugar will mess your teeth up. He used to always tell us that. So, So we'd be sneaking out our piggy banks and going to Miss Effie's, getting penny candy and all this stuff and going to school, So, yeah, but yeah, that's what I wanted to be, computers. And then when I did graduate out of college, in high school, you want to be one thing. Then when you go to college, you change your mind. So when I went to college, I switched over to business. And then I went into management. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that better. Yeah. So I went into management, marketing, all that stuff like that. So I graduated out of college with a degree in management.
You want to shout out your college?
Huh?
So you want to shout out your college too?
Oh, Berkeley. I went to Berkeley. Well, at that time, it was Berkeley Business School. And then I went to, shout out to Keene. I went to Keene. Yes, I went to Keene. And I went to Montclair State too. Yeah.
Swear.
Yeah, I went to Montclair State too.
Everybody love Montclair State.
Yeah, I went to Keene and Montclair State. So shout out to those two. But yeah, I did. And I worked. So I worked and went to college. Mm-hmm. So I did because my father was like, okay, when I graduated high school, I was like, I ain't trying to do college. Nah, who doing that? I just did 12 years of school. You must be bugging.
Yeah.
And then my father, and back in the day, at that time, we could take trades because we had like trade school. So if you were good with your hands, you did trades and stuff like that. So a lot of people took trade schools or whatever. But my father was like, listen, if you're going to go to college, I'll foot the bill, but you got to go straight through 4 years. And I was like, what? 4 years? I just did 4 years of high school. I'm schooled out.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to hear that.
So he said, well, what you want to do? So I went 2 years at junior college. And then he said, anything after that, you foot your own bill. So I went back to school and worked part-time and then went to school and did it like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to be. I followed through on it. Got my first assignment as a manager at JCPenney. Yep.
And now going after all of that, so you like living your life now and after college, when did the switch happen where you like, all right, well maybe I want to get married now and like settle down and all this other stuff? Like what was, when did that switch happen? Like what was life like then? Like was you out here like you wasn't at the club, was you like going to the?
Yeah, we had the song go, we be up in the club, we be hosting the back, we be in the club. Y'all know that. Y'all know that's old school.
Some LL Cool J.
Yeah, LL Cool J.
So that was your favorite song back then? Like that was
one of them. We be in the club.
What was the song that brought you to the dance floor when you was in the club?
Oh man, it was so many. We used to do the roof. The roof is on fire. We don't need no water, let it. That bleep bleep, we ain't gonna say what it say. Burn, baby, burn. Yeah, we be out there. We went to clubs. We had a club called Club 88. It's no longer in existence anymore. But yeah, I was at the club. I love to dance, as you know.
Yeah.
I love to dance, so I was at the club.
I'm surprised you ain't bust out dancing. You was playing your intro song.
I know. I had to contain myself.
Gonna move the table and jump.
Yeah, I had to contain myself, but I didn't want to. But yes, I was in the club. Yeah, I had a child. Yeah, I hung out. Had a curfew, of course. Mm-hmm. And like I told you, my mama didn't play on Sunday nights. Saturday night. Because you know the club night, Saturday night, Friday night. She used to say, okay, you go to the club, you can hang out, but guess what? Sunday morning, you getting up going to church. And I bet not catch you sleeping in the church. Because if I get up my seat, you know what's about to happen. So we go to the club, be partying it, and then got to get up early Sunday morning.
So I just like the roof is on fire on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, and then the chair, we talk about praise
God on Sunday.
the name of Jesus. Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah.
So when did was being a mom and like stuff always in like your plans or what?
No. To be honest with you, no.
Wow.
No. Growing up, to be honest with you, I ain't like kids. I'm going to just tell you. I'm going to be honest. Listen, as a kid, my mother.
What we doing today?
Let me tell you, I know. Listen, I'm going to be honest. When I was growing up as a kid, like I loved being a kid and all that, but when I got to the age, my mother was a preschool teacher, and she used to take me with her, in the summer, sometimes when I didn't go to Florida, she would take me with her. And them kids used to work my nerves.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't like these kids. They bad. They don't listen. Y'all, they be teasing each other and all that stuff. Yeah. So I really I wasn't fond of kids, little kids like that. So I ain't never really thought about being a mother. I didn't really think about it like that. I was just like, okay, I'm going to go out, because at that time we was just like want to be older because, you living in your parents' house under their rules. So now you want to be free because now you want to get out of jail. You want to get out of jail because living at home was like being in jail sometimes. That's how we looked at it because you got strict rules. They don't play that. Curfew, everything. So You just wanted to get out on your own and see what the world looked like and experience that. So I wasn't even thinking about having kids and all that other stuff. That hadn't even crossed my mind. Shoot, even getting married hadn't crossed my mind. So I would say once I got acclimated into my job and my position and everything, doing Carla, doing my thing, and I hadn't even really considered marriage until I would say until after I had met your father. Then I would say I considered marriage down the line after that. So now I would start thinking, well, maybe, maybe.
You had to retire your jersey and junk and
Yeah, the single ship is out the window. The ship has sailed.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, gotta buckle down.
It was a sacrifice we needed though, because you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't.
That's
be here,
true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
It worked out.
It did. It really did. And I will say this: when you become a mother, your world changes. Your whole mindset changes. I truly believe that God does a download on women that become mothers, and what I mean by that is you're a woman, and if you don't have any kids, you just a woman. You do things, whatever. You have fun. You're female, but it's something special that God does. I feel like He downloads certain gifts and traits and intuitions into a mother.
Yeah.
Because once I had my first child, which is your sister, Ebony, that's no longer here with us, my mindset changed. So my view as a mother now, it's like I had intuition. I had all these special powers. I call them special powers because I never had them before.
Yeah.
And then it's like I thought a certain way. And it's just like I knew what to do with certain things that I didn't know before. No, so that's why I said I feel like God downloads things into mothers, like to give you mothers intuitions on things, on how to raise. He gives you wisdom and understanding on how to raise a child, how to take care of them, how to nurture them, all of that stuff. I feel like we are nurturers by nature, but then all the other qualities and traits a mother has, God specially downloads that into us. He brands that into us because I didn't start thinking as a mother until I became one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
I told you, I used to look at my mother like she bugged out. She doing all that.
Yeah.
What? She bugged out. So I didn't know that. I didn't understand it until I walked in her shoes and I became a mother. And I'm like, oh, now I get what she's saying. Because sometimes she would say stuff to me. I thought she was speaking another language. I don't understand that. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
What you saying, woman? You drinking or smoking or both of these? So, not until I became a mother did I understand what it is to become a mother and what now the responsibilities I have to take on as a mother. So I took that role very seriously because like I told you before, I wanted to make sure that I raised good kids. And at that time it was just one. And I didn't have an idea how many kids. It's not like I said, oh, I want to get married and I want to have kids and I want these many kids and all that. I was like, if I do get married, I have 2 kids like my mother, a boy and a girl. That's enough. Because I saw how it was just raising me and my brother. Who want to do more than that?
Yeah, that's one of the headaches.
Right. So, I mean, I didn't want one kid because, one kid, the kid going to be lonely, They be talking to themselves and stuff, making imaginary friends and all that. I'm like, nah, man, you need somebody to talk to and grow up with. Nah, you can't be sitting there, doing stuff. Nah.
They be talking to the wall.
They be, 13-year-old taking their imaginary friend to school. Come on here, Sarah, sit next to me. Like, what the heck? And everybody in the classroom looking at them like, what's wrong with that kid? Why he talking to himself? So,
right.
That's why, I never wanted just one child. I figured they need a brother or a sister. They needed somebody to talk to. That's on their level of understanding.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I never really considered all of that until after I met your father and we talked about marriage and then getting married and all that stuff. And then it happened. And then you guys came along. But I will say this, and I didn't know this until after I had graduated out of high school. My friends put me on a pedestal. So they were like taking bets on like who. So you know how they'll say, well, this one is the most artistic. This one is the most talkative. This one is the most likely to succeed or whatever. That's how we used to talk back in the day. Yeah. So they had me as the one. Carla will surely be the one out of all of us to be the first one to get married, have kids, and all this other stuff. I said, really? Who told you that? Right. So I didn't see all that. How they saw all that, I don't know. But they were right. They wound up being right because I was out of the group that we used to hang around. I was one of the first ones that had a family because they were always saying she's gonna be the one to do it right. She's gonna get married first and then have the kids, and that's the way you're supposed to do it. She's not gonna have kids out of wedlock. Like, you know, people having kids, you know, single mom or single dad, and but I was following. So you follow the example that is set before you.
That's what I was gonna
so
say.
I was following the example that was set before me. So that's why I went about it the way I did, is because that's the way I was taught. And that was the model of my parents that was before me. That's what they showed me. So that's what I learned.
Right. Yeah, so, I was going to say, they probably said that because they saw the way you was raised and came up. And I guess if they came over to your house and they saw how things went like that.
Right.
My question to you is, in motherhood, was it as easy like as you made it look to us? Because I mean, I'll speak for myself. I never remember a moment seeing you like, and of course I'm sure you didn't want us to see that, like you know, having to take your breaks and having to, I don't know, I guess go to the closet and like take a breather, because knowing it's like you raising 3 kids and at home by yourself, and it's like it's a lot. But I appreciate it because you never showed us how much it really is, or how much, you know, task it was to like take care of kids like that. So was it as easy as you made it look?
No. Sometimes I wanted to get on the bus and ride into another country. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you saying that because of Danielle? Like, I know Danielle be wild, and I like she.
No, I'm not saying that. Actually, you know what? You guys were y'all good kids. Not you were kids. Kids are they inquiring, they want to know things, you know, busy, yes. But I will say your sisters did enough for you. Okay, the two of them. I called them freaking frack.
I believe that.
Yeah, because them two was busy. Boy, I had to keep they made me very active. I had to keep my eyes on them. But when you came, I was like, woo, Jesus, thank you, Father. I could slow down for a minute, because this one here, at least he listened. The other two, they was on their own thing, you know, busy. But so, no, it wasn't easy, but I made it because I enjoyed, it's like I grew up with you guys. So I was a hands-on mom. So I like to have fun. So I wanted you guys to have fun. So I made it pleasant and I made it happy, because that's what I wanted for you guys. So that's why in your eyes it probably seemed like it was easy, is because I did enjoy it. I did enjoy raising you guys. I did enjoy growing up with you. You know, sometimes people don't see motherhood as that. Yes, you got to, when you were born, yeah, you got to be up at all hours of the night, feeding them and all that. Yes, it can be taxing, but when you see the gift of it all and the blessing in it, right, then it doesn't seem like it's so hard. So it's your perspective in it. And then I learned to balance my time. So, you know, I took out time for you guys, and then I took out time for me. So while you guys were doing something, if I tell you guys sit down and do this, then I'll go and sit down and take my breather. Or when you guys were in school, I would take my breather. So I found how to balance it out so that I was not burned out. And then I enjoyed it. You know, so that's what made it a lot more easier for me too, because I enjoy, you know, I used to tell other mothers, I don't know about y'all, but I like my kids. Because, you know, sometimes they be like, I don't like them crumb snatches. They get on my nerves. But I used to be like, I like my kids. My kids is fun. My kids crazy. Sometimes they could be a bit busy or much, but I would just come up with creative. Y'all just kept me being creative.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I just had to come up with stuff.
And all of them.
Nah. That's from the teachers. And I was about to go have a conversation with all those teachers, all these extra projects and all this nonsense. But, you know, it is what it is, you know. But we did it. We made it work, you know. And I found the fun in it. That's what I did. I turned it into not looking at it as hard labor, but as fun labor, something that was necessary that I needed to do because it was shaping your future.
Yeah.
Right. And it was also shaping mine because, once again, I said I was growing up with you guys. I grew up with you. I had you guys at a young age, and I still had growing to do, you know, maturing. There wasn't no step 1, 2, and 3 book on how to be a good mother. I had my bloops and blunders, my ups and downs, my task trials with, you know, what to do with this and that. But like I said, kudos to God. Thank you, Jesus. He downloaded stuff to me to show me how to do it. He gave me an inquiring mind that, you know, and a wise mind on what to do. Like, Lord, I don't know what to do with these kids. I don't know. They driving me bananas, you know, what to do. So he gave me ideas on what to do. And then me having a creative mom. My mom was very creative. You know, Nana was very creative.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that woman couldn't do on the face of this earth. The only thing I never seen her do was fly an airplane or sail a boat.
Right.
But everything else that woman could do. I was like, wow, she's amazing. So, yeah, so her creativity rubbed off on me. I finally got it in my later days, but you know. But yeah, so that's helped out too.
So how much did like your mom and dad like have an impact on how you raised us?
Well, they had a lot. They had a lot of impact because, you know, as you get, when you have kids, so you grow up and you'll say, you'll tell this lie. I tell people they lying. I'm not going to be like my mother or my father. I'm not going to say that to my kids. You sound just like your mother or your father because they'll say, you done heard it all your life, right?
Yeah.
That's all you know, unless you find out something new. Now, you might change the way they did it, you know, but you'll follow that same type of example if it's positive and it works. So, yeah, my father used to always make this statement, excuses only satisfy the one that make them. So he didn't like excuses because he felt that was just being lazy. Why are you making an excuse? Either do it or don't do it. Make a decision. If you're going to do it, stick to it, right? If you're not going to do it, then don't do it. But why are you making an excuse? So if he asks you a question like, well, why didn't you clean the bathroom the way you're supposed to? And you'll be like, well, you see what happened was, nah.
Why you just do it?
Why you didn't just do it, right? Why you making an excuse for it, right? So he was saying you making an excuse to what? Satisfy you, not me, because I'm still going to make you go clean the bathroom again. So you should have done right the first time so you wouldn't have to do it twice.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. You know, my mother used to always say, however you treat somebody the way you would want to be treated, because however you treat them, it's going to come back on you. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like karma. It is karma. So however you do, like the Bible say, whatsoever man soweth, that shall he reap.
Right.
Same thing. The world calls it karma. That's what God calls it, sowing and reaping. It's how you treat people. You know, if you want people to be nice to you and you want a nice response back, then you have to give respect in order to get it, right? So you want somebody to respect you, but you don't want to give respect. How you expect to get it back if you're not going to give it? So you got to show them. Sometimes you got to show people what it is that you want so that they can reciprocate it back to you.
Right.
And you can't make assumptions that people know. You have to show them. So you have to be a good example. You have to be a good example. So my parents were good examples, to answer your question, before me, so which helped me to be good examples before you guys, with the help of the good Lord, helping me on what to do with these kids. And my mother used to always say too, ooh, when you get, Carla, she used to be like, because I was a hard-headed kid. I didn't listen all the time, So I didn't expect y'all to always do everything I tell y'all to do. I knew that. But my mother used to say, Carla, just wait until you have your first kid. Everything you did, you're going to get it back. And I was like, that woman bugging. She don't know what she talking about.
And it happened first child.
Yes,
too,
it did. The first one. Oh, my gosh. Did I get it back? 100-fold blessing. Yes, I did.
Gave you all the gray hairs.
Gave you all the gray hairs. Yes. So she didn't lie when she said that. But you reap what you sow, right?
Yeah, true.
I was giving them a headache. So I got one once I had mine. So that's it. So I said, ooh, man. And then that's when I called my parents. I had to apologize. I'm so sorry. my mother was like, it's too late now. You got it now. She here. Ain't no sending her back. That's it. You're going to have to deal with it. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. So I figured if I apologize, God might have mercy on me.
Like,
nah, it's too late.
You did too many years.
You did too many years. That's it. Now you got to pay. You got to pay your sentence. So, yeah.
So, who would you say was your favorite then? Like, who was your favorite kid?
All of you. You don't even try to set me up like that.
You could tell me. Like, we'll cut the cameras off. You can say who it is.
Nah.
Zach, nah. Well, I say that because, like, I want to know how did you, like, do that where, raising us, we never even felt like you had a favorite, one or the other, or we all just felt like you all treated us exactly the same. So, like, what went into doing that? Because
it was my perspective on you guys. I saw that you guys were individuals, right? You were not the same. And you all had gifts and talents.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were my blessing, I looked at it like that. And you were special to me in your own ways. So I looked at you each as individuals, special blessings to me. So that's why I never made you guys feel like one was better than the other, because you all were good to me. You know what I'm saying? And from my eyesight, you know what I'm saying? You all were my favorite. I enjoy being around all of y'all. So, that's why it never looked like, mommy likes this one better than. But your sisters used to always say about you, because you was the baby and you was the boy, Matthew gets everything. Matthew this, Matthew that. And I used to tell them it's because, yeah. But they did it too. They spoiled you too. So I don't even know what they talking about. So, yeah. But it's because you was the boy child and they had to share. They were girls and they share. So when the boy come, he has to get it. I say he can't wear pink shoes and a pink hat with a pink dress.
What you tripping
He's
for,
a boy.
Like,
we have to do separate things. So, they didn't understand that at first. And then they was like, oh, okay, we get it. But still, mommy, Matthew. But I'm like, okay. It's always Matthew. Matthew gets this. Matthew get that. Matthew. But, yeah.
They know what it is. It's all
they know, Matt.
I mean,
between you and me, right, Matt? Don't tell nobody. They was a little jealous, you know that.
Yeah, I was jealous.
You know they was jealous, right?
I would have said the same thing, but you said it first, so it's all good.
They was jealous. I was like, stop it, stop being jealous of your brother, stop it.
Yeah, well, I gotta ask you the question that I ask all my guests, and it's the Matt moment, and it stands for when you made a transition or a turnaround in your life,
right?
Like when you were growing up or whatever point in your life that you feel like you've made the transition to turn over from doing one thing that you saw wasn't working, that was probably going to lead your life in a whole different direction in the wrong way, to another direction. So when was that moment in your life?
Well, I would say my Matt moment was having my Matt.
For real?
My Matthew. That was a transition from one, because understand the first two the first two children were girls, right? The last one was a boy. That was a transition.
Okay.
I carried you different. You know, you came in the world different. Everything was different. So that was a transition for me because I was used to girls, busy girls, I would say. Very busy.
Yeah.
And then I had my Matthew, Mr. Calm, Mr. Do whatever you asked him to do when he was little and all that other stuff, you know, sit there, just a humble kid, very humble. He was a very humble kid. So that was a transition for me because now it's like, okay, I ain't got to be on alert. With your sisters, man, they had me on alert, man. I told people, I was like, I low-jack my kids. I had to low-jack them too because I need to know where they at all times. So I had my radar on. Mm-hmm. So with you, I didn't have to low-jack you as much as I did them. I still had my radar on, but you know. But yeah, I would say my Matthew is my Matt moment, bringing you into this world, having you, having a hands in helping you to grow up to be this nice young man that you are now, sitting here talking across from you in this podcast. I'm so very proud of you. But yeah, I would say that. And, you know, help a hand and help raising you and shaping you into being the man that you are. Because as a woman, I cannot teach you how to be a man, but I can teach you qualities of life and being a good person. So I would say that would be my mad moment. I didn't think you would. I know you didn't think I was going to answer the question like that.
Yeah, I really didn't. I was like, oh, you trying to be funny or something? Like, what do you mean? Like, but that's, wow, that might be the best answer I've ever heard. Like, so to everybody else, like, your answers was, it's like, no, I was like, well, that brings me, this is my last question until I was going to ask you a bunch of whole, like, personal questions, like, but they fun though, like, so we can have some fun.
Okay, that's fine.
But it's the simple question is, did I make you proud?
Nah, not at all.
Cut the camera up.
Yes, of course, Matthew. Yeah. Of course, you really did. You showed me that all the hard work, all the prayers, all the times that I questioned myself as a mother. I always question myself as a mother with all my kids. If I told them the right thing, if I answered the question right, was I present in the present when they needed me to be? Did I do things right? Was I tangible enough? These are all the questions I always ask myself. But then when I see how you and your sisters have grown up to be good people, good individual, and have done outstanding things in your lives, and then your mindset and how you are with your friends, and even all the way down to the type of friends and the company that you keep, it let me know that, wow, I did a good job, and I'm proud of that because it wasn't easy, but you guys were very good learners. I was the teacher, and you were the student. You were very good students, and you learned everything that I showed you, and I told you, and you applied it to your life, and that's why you are so successful to this day. So, yes, I am very proud of you, Matthew. I'm going to always be proud of you, Matthew. I'm your number one fan. Yes, I tank rake over your father. I don't care if he get mad at this moment for me saying
all
this.
Good. Like,
I am your number one fan. Got it? I'll push it to the side whenever you decide to get married, and I'll let your wife take first bids. But I'll be sitting right next to her.
Yeah, it's like 1 and 1A.
Yeah, 1 and 1A. Yes, that's right.
Well, I asked you that because I figured you would say yes. Like, of course, why not? But I asked you that because I would want to say, like, every good thing about me, I would say comes from you. And, of course, like, my dad as well. But just, like, knowing you and seeing you, I just really appreciate every single thing you've ever done for me. I feel like there's no way I could ever pay you back for any of the things that you've done, all the sacrifices you made, like for us as a family. And I just really appreciate you. And, you know, you say you're my biggest fan, but I'm your biggest fan. And like, you're the most loved person in my life. I don't know who I would be without you, like your guidance and your love and, you know, pouring into me, the discipline, like you having your attitude adjustment stick when you used to like beat us and junk like that. Like it all paid off for me to be who I am today. So I just wanted to shower you with that love, give you all these flowers in front of everybody, especially with Mother's Day coming up, because this is going to drop on Mother's Day. So, you know, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Thank you. And I will say this, and I probably could say this for a lot of mothers, but I'm going to speak this on behalf of me, a mother. The best payment that you can give a mother that will make her heart smile for the rest of her life is that you be the best person that you can be, right? Before her, that she can see it, right? Yes, give her flowers while she can smell them. Yes, I agree with that. But being a good person and being a good example as a human being, because that shows a mother. Because any good mother wants to raise good children, and it's not easy to do in this world. But once you have done all you can and poured into that kid, and that kid reciprocates it back to you by showing you that, listen, I was listening, Mom, when you were talking to me and told me this and that. I might not have said anything then, but I showed you. Because action speaks louder than words. People can say whatever, but when they show you in their action, it speaks volumes. Volumes, and it makes you so proud of them. So kudos to you and your sisters, because that's what you did. You in your actions. So that is my repayment. I feel like the richest mom in the world, you know, because that means more to me than money can buy. You can't buy that. You know, I could be the richest person in the world and have all the money, but what gives me peace and joy is to know that I raise good kids in a bad world, because this world is bad. But I raise good kids that can handle themselves in a bad world and can be very successful, you know, by going about it and doing it the right way. So right there, I don't need any other gift than that. That's the best gift. You guys gave me the best gift of all. God gave me you. That was the gift that keeps on giving. So, you know, I'm an honored mother on Mother's Day to say that I have, and I know all the mothers will say this, I got the best kids in the world. Well,
they lying.
I would say, to me, in my opinion, God bless me with special blessings. And that's you and your sisters, right? Which I would cherish until the rest of my life. That's it. So as long as you continue to do what you were taught to do, what God created you to do to fulfill your purpose in this world, that will continue to keep a smile on my face and make me proud of you. And I'm glad that I had to break up my attitude adjustment stick, because I didn't want to have to keep using it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that, you know.
But the joint really said adjustment on it, though.
It did.
Like,
it really did. It did. It said attitude adjustment.
Yeah, it was
I don't even know where I got that stick from, but I think I think somebody might even gave it to me as a gift.
I was gonna say this back in the day where they was selling stuff like that.
Yeah,
in the stores.
was in the store.
Because they was like promoting. Yeah, I'm BJ.
Yeah. I used to walk around with a spatula. You know, the ones that they mix the cake with? Yeah, rubber spatula. Stick it in my bag.
Yeah, see, that's why I ain't know that.
You ain't know that. Yeah, I didn't have to use it on you too much. See, but it was your sisters. I told you they was the busy ones.
See, that's why I think I'm.
You learn from them. That's it.
Okay. Now I got personal questions, but they're really quick, so they gotta be rapid fire. So you gotta like answer them a little fast. So, who was your celebrity crush growing up, and did you think you ever had a chance?
Oh, a celebrity crush? Okay, I'm dating myself. I like the Fonz.
Who that?
There's this show called Happy Days, right? And it used to be Fonz. What was his name?
So it was my dad.
Nah. You said it.
Nah, I'm playing. Yeah.
The Fonz. Yeah. I thought he was so cool and so handsome. And he used to be like, yeah, you're fine. Just walking with this leather jacket and all that, always slicking his hair back and all that. But yeah.
I'm going to have to search that.
Yeah, you're going to have to look at it. Happy days.
What's a family memory that still makes you laugh every time you think about it?
A family memory?
Yeah. Or moment.
A family moment. Okay. I'm gonna have to put you out there, man.
No, please don't say that one. I find
you already know what I'm
don't do that. Like, all right, whatever. Go ahead. Like,
you don't want me to say it, I won't say it.
I just feel like I know what you gonna say. Okay, just don't say what I had on my shoes though. Like that's it. Like don't say what I had on my feet. Like that's it.
That's part of it. All of it is it makes me laugh.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna think of something else.
No. Go ahead. You
want
say
me to
that
say
one.
it?
It's all right.
Okay, so Matthew was the comedian of the family, right? So Matthew will always do stuff just at the spur of the moment to make you laugh. So one day he comes in, he has on shorts, he has on white socks, and so I used to wear hair pieces and stuff like that. So Matt put the hair piece on his head and slid into the room and said, "Rock on." And just stood there waiting for us to respond. So we just bust out laughing. So when he did that, and he would just do different crazy stuff just to make you laugh. But that's the one that was sticking in my head when he just said that, because I was like, what would make you do that?
That's so bad. Okay. This is the last one. What's the most spontaneous thing you ever did?
Took shoes off a mannequin and went to the register and told him that I want to buy them.
Wow. As you should. That's the most spontaneous.
You still really think
so
fast.
So you just
I went to the mannequin. I went to the mannequin, right? I saw the shoes. I couldn't find them nowhere else.
Yeah.
And I took them off. And they were like, what are you doing? You can't undress the mannequin. But I want those shoes. I told you I like shoes.
Yeah.
I got to have those shoes. And they're my size.
So you just...
So I took them off.
And you bought them.
And I bought them. They was like, where you got these shoes from? They ain't in the box. They was on the mannequin. I want the shoes.
Oh, my gosh. So I get my craziness from you as
well.
Also,
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay. Well, in honor of Mother's Day, I had a small gift for you. I just wanted to give you something on the show. Okay. Like I told you, I spread all this love and said all these things and gave you flowers publicly. So I really wanted to give you some flowers as well. So I got you some flowers on behalf of Mother's Day. And I just want to say I love you. You come in here, but don't be shy. That's and it's from your daughter also. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So
my little blessings. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for coming on here. I love you so much. Thank you for doing this. It really means a lot to me. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers as well. All the mothers who've ever spoken to my life. I really appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for tuning in. Yo, peace. So what you think?
It was good. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm looking.
It's not that bad being up there.
Nah.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Appreciate y'all watching.
Come on, we got